Hello. How do you lead projects and organizations in a complicated VUCA world? Where VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Hello, my name is Tim McDermott. I'm a software development project manager. I live and work in Tampa, Florida. Right now I'm out in Al Lopez Park, walking down one of the jogging trails. As an example of a VUCA situation, I had to change my idea where I was going to broadcast or video from because of the weather here. All of a sudden it rained really hard and things got flooded, so the location I intended to go to was flooded out. So we live in an agile world. We have to use agile project management to be able to respond to changes. So I'm going to talk about VUCA and how to deal with it. One of the things is you have to be aware that leadership is situational, and the mistake a lot of project managers or managers make is they try to use the same decision-making model. And I'm already running into some water here, a puddle I didn't anticipate. So splish splash. But we are agile, we adapt, and we go on. So they try to use the same leadership has to be situational now. In the old days, you could get by with using the same decision-making processes and tools for every different type of situation that you run into. But now we have to have different means of making decisions based on what the context you're operating in. For that, I'm going to talk about a model called Cynefin, something like that. Cynefin. It's developed by Donald. Anyway, there's an HBR article on it. I'm going to put the link in the text. But Cynefin, there are basically 5 situations or 5 contexts that this model is based on. The first one is they call the obvious context. Obvious means just that you already know the situation is normal, the situation is something you've already been in, you know what to do and you know how to do it. So that's the obvious approach. The next model that they talk about is complicated. That one is a little bit more complicated than the obvious model. There are, in this model, this situation, this context, there are known unknowns. There are things that you know that you don't know. In this situation, you bring in an expert. You find some expertise and you bring them in and you help them. They help you, guide you through your known unknowns. That's it. That's sense, analyze, and respond is the approach. You sense where you're at, you bring in an expert, they help you analyze it, and then you respond to it. So that's 2. Third one is complex. Now this one, there's no access to experts. There's no expertise that's going to help you with. In this situation, you have to do some testing first. So in the complex situation, you first do some experiments and then analyze the results of the experiments that you do and move on that. Respond based on what you find out in your experiments. The next model, the next context situation is chaos. Chaos means, an example is, there's a fire in the building. So in this type of situation, it's not plan first, it's act first. It's act first, and then after you act, do some analysis, find out what caused the problem and what can we do to prevent it from occurring again. That's how you would respond to chaos. And then the final phase, and I'm running out of breath, walking, carrying a backpack, holding a gimbal stick is a lot harder than it looks. The next is, what do you do if you don't know what the context is? The disorder. This is a disorder context. Well, you take what you have and you try to break it down further and break it down into situations that you do know what the context is, and then use the complicated or complex or obvious decision-making models discussed earlier. So that's it. Just basically realize that a lot of managers make the mistake of applying the same decision-making models no matter what their situation is, and that's a mistake, especially in the modern world. And that's why we now have Agile to be more responsive to the changes, the constant changes in our current context. That's it, and I am running out of breath. So goodbye and good luck. Please follow and share my videos. I try to put at least one out every week. Thank you very much.